What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Fireside Giants. I'm your host, Anthony Rivardo. Still not feeling good after the loss to the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday night, but if there is one positive takeaway that we can get from this game, it's that Malik Nabers is a superstar. That's been the takeaway for all of the Giants games so far this season. Nabers has been spectacular, and you guys have really been enjoying the all-22 film breakdowns on his performances. So I want to go ahead and dive back in because he had another 15-target game, another 12 receptions, another 115 yards. He was electric. Big plays downfield, big plays underneath. So I want to take a look at the all-22 and see how he was getting open, what the Giants were doing to get him open, and why he is such an electric playmaker. On top of that, of course, like we always do in these breakdowns when we're looking at Nabers, we're going to look at who is throwing him the ball. What's going on with Daniel Jones? A lot of controversy with that performance against the Cowboys. Some saying he played a great game, others saying he's the reason that we lost. Let's take a look at those targets to Nabers, what he could have done better, what he did well on those throws to Malik Nabers in particular, and just have a conversation here on the film about Daniel Jones and Malik Nabers. I won't waste any more time. Let's go ahead and dive right into the film. All right, first play here. The big highlight of the game for Malik Nabers. Let's take a look at how he got so wide open down the left sideline for a 39-yard gain. First of all, let's take a look. This is becoming a trend here in these film breakdowns. What's the first thing that we look at, guys? The safety. Middle field, center field, and safety. Middle field is closed, right? What does it mean when you have that single high safety, guys? I'm sure that you've heard me say it 100 times. It means the boundaries, the sidelines are going to be open for attack. You've got one-on-one coverage on the outside. Obviously, you have press coverage up top here. That's Trayvon Diggs pressing up against Darius Slayton. You like that matchup from the Cowboys. And then over here, I think this kid's name was Booth. The Giants had him in a spin cycle almost all night. That's why he's playing way off of Nabers. They're not going to trust him in press coverage. But again, from a quarterback standpoint, when you see this kind of defensive lineup, you know it's probably man coverage across the board with one single high safety in the middle of the field, cover one, man. Kind of looks like maybe we're getting a blitz here from the perspective of the Cowboys. But what do the Giants have dialed up? Well, go. They basically have just those receivers go deep, get open on the sidelines in one-on-one coverage. And what Nabers does here to get open, he's not going to run just a normal go. He's actually going to run a sluggo. Sluggo being a slant and go. He's going to fake inside, and then as soon as he gets that cornerback turned around, bang, let's run up the sideline. So let's play through. Yeah, I mean, it's just beautiful. It's beautiful route running. And I'll go ahead and show you my favorite part about it. So when he takes this release, watch how he just kind of slows down, turns his head, chops his feet, right? And he turns his entire body. If you look at where Malik Nabers is turned right now, it looks like he's really curving in for a slant or maybe a curl. Maybe this, you could call this a stop and go. I'm going to call it a sluggo because it kind of looks like he's leaning inside, like he's going to slant. Cornerback sees that, breaks on it, and then as soon as that cornerback flips his hips, boom, see it just happened, flips hipped. Okay, now he's in a three-point stance, and Malik Nabers is running free. And we've seen this a few times on Nabers film, which, again, we've reviewed week to week. If you want to see some of these other breakdowns from a couple weeks ago, go check them out. But it's just really crafty route running from Malik Nabers is what you see on a week-to-week basis. He's very good at manipulating the safeties, very good at manipulating cornerbacks, getting them out of position, and getting their bodies turned and crossing them over, like basketball, basically. And that's what he does here. Now, let's talk about Daniel Jones. What do we see here? Well, first of all, we've got a beautiful pocket from the offensive line. The Cowboys run a little bit of a stunt. You know, in the past, these stunts would literally be automatic sacks for the Cowboys when going up against the Giants. But now, Jon Runyan and Andrew Thomas, or no, I'm sorry, that's JMS and Andrew Thomas. No, I was right the first time. Jon Runyan here, Andrew Thomas here. I think that's Chris Manhertz, the tight end chipping on Micah Parsons. The three of them do a really good job. You get a little chip from Manhertz, and then he releases. But really great job from the stunt pickup on the left side of the offensive line. Meanwhile, Jones in an open pocket is just going to float it out there. Should he have floated it out there? Or should he have put this thing on Malik? Because he's open now, so we could throw it now. Now that we see the cornerback with his hand in the dirt, we could throw it. All right, so Jones throws it, lofts it up there. I do wonder, though, if this ball is kind of thrown without all that air underneath it, and I know this is kind of nitpicky, but if he just fires it to Malik and allows Malik to go ahead and catch it in stride rather than slowing down and waiting, boom, now we've caught it. Now the safety is in position to make the play. I do wonder if a quicker throw, especially, I mean, we're talking about single high safety down the sideline. If this ball is fired in there fast and put on a rope, I think we're talking about 6 points. So little meat left off the bone, but it's the first drive, first throw of the game for Daniel Jones and first catch for Malik Nabers. I don't want to nitpick it too much, but I will just say I think there was some meat left on the bone here. But a great play design, and really that's what the Giants have been winning on these past few weeks. When they see single high safety, they've got Nabers outside, man beating route, boom, he's open. That's been their bread and butter through 4 weeks of the season. All right, now this next play I'm going to highlight, this doesn't work for the Giants. This ends up being a big tackle for loss for the Cowboys. It's really tough to run a play like this against Micah Parsons. You see, he's just very smart. He's got great eyes. He's going to read the QB, and he's going to contain so well here on Nabers. I will just say, I think I like the idea, though. I like the idea of getting Nabers the ball in space on these handoffs and stuff. Just didn't work out here. Micah Parsons ate it up. I don't think there's much blame to go around necessarily for the Giants. It's just a good play by Parsons. All right, next clip, Malik Nabers is second target in the passing game. Again, what do we have here? Middle field close, single high safety, and it looks like man align all across the board. Just looks like, once again, cover one, man coverage. Now, they've got this linebacker right here. Who is he manned up on, right? There's nobody in the backfield. Split wide, 5 wide for the Giants. So he's probably manned up on Daniel Jones. He's probably playing a QB spy. Jones breaks a pocket. He goes ahead and chases him down. Or what he might also be doing, which is what it looks like post-snap, he could be bracketing the coverage here on Malik Nabers. So let's roll it through post-snap, see what we get. Boom, and you see the linebacker break on Nabers immediately. He's got his eyes on Daniel Jones throughout the game, or throughout the play. See, he's just watching Jones, but as soon as Jones looks this way and starts to throw this way, he crashes on it. So it's a good play by this linebacker, and honestly, I think Nabers heard the footsteps here and felt like he was about to get hit, ends up dropping this pass. I will say, in terms of making a better throw here, you see how Nabers is drifting this way? He's drifting that way because this linebacker is coming from this way. This ball ends up on this shoulder. It should have been on this shoulder because Jones needs to recognize that this linebacker has an opportunity to crash down here. So got to catch those. Absolutely. So it's a bad drop by Nabers. I think a better throw might give him an opportunity to spin. You know, we've seen Nabers do that catch and then spin. Maybe he could have done that. I don't know. Either way, dropped pass. All right, now this is a crucial play that I want to break down here. And what you're getting is pretty basic route concepts across the board. This time we're not getting that single high safety look. We're getting 2 high safeties, so we know that it's probably going to be a variation of a cover 2, whether that be man or whether that be a zone where these guys will play the flats and we'll get that. It's some sort of cover 2. Now, what are the Giants running here? Well, they're running a little bit of a combo route between Darius Slayton and Malik Nabers. Nabers here, Slayton here. Slayton's going to run this deep in, this dig route, and that's going to attempt to clear out this guy, and maybe even this guy, just create some space for Nabers, who's going to run this whip route to the outside. Now, the line to gain is all the way up here. This is 3rd down, 8 yards to go. The Giants are going to throw well short of the sticks and receive a lot of criticism for it, but I actually don't hate it this time. I think this is a really good play design to get the ball in the hands of your best playmaker, your best yards after the catch weapon in space. The problem comes post-snap. Pre-snap, it all looks good. They got the right play dialed up here. I mean, even if this is cover 2, usually you get a little window here. So, if Slayton were to break open, you could even fire this across the sticks, which is, I think, what the Giants maybe were trying to do, was hit Slayton on that dig across the middle. Just so happens it gets covered, roll it through, Nabers breaks open. Here's the problem, though. Nabers is open right now. This is when this ball should be thrown. Nabers is open. This is clearly an opportunity to get him the ball and get him to run up in space. Ball is still in Daniel Jones' hands. Let's roll it through. Still. Okay, now it's thrown. All right, now the cornerback is there. Now we're in problems. Now we're having problems because this ball was thrown way too freaking late. This looks like it was indeed a blown coverage on the backside, I will say. You have Theo Johnson running this kind of slot fade, and You've got two guys jumping down here with the safety being the only one who can get there. That's a hole shot. It's a really tough throw to hit. And it's also the fourth read. I'm pointing that out because someone on social media said, was that Theo Johnson wide open? Yes, but the main read here is a high-low, and then you're going to come back here, and then you're going to go here. Johnson's probably never getting the ball. In fact, he's probably just trying to clear out space for other playmakers like Slayton maybe, if he takes that safety away and then get an opportunity here. So that's the breakdown intricacies there. But again, back to the throw. This ball should be out. Ready? Go. That's when the ball should be out. It's finally out now. It's late. It's behind Malik Nabers. Now he's got to try and break tackles. He can't. Okay. He's tackled behind the sticks. Again, I don't hate this play. I actually think that this is a pretty good play design. I just think that the ball comes out late. You know, it's supposed to be as soon as he starts breaking. Like right now, this ball should be thrown. I think Daniel Jones is overanalyzing a little bit, reading a little bit too hard here. That's who he's staring down. He's trying to see if this window is going to break open for Slayton. I think just the idea that the safety is here, the presence that he has, you should be able to hold him and then know that you holding him there with your eyes is going to open up space underneath. You hit Nabers early on time and you lead him out in front. He doesn't have to turn around. He's definitely got space to get the first down here, guys. I mean, I know a lot of people aren't crazy about the game that Dable called, saying the play calling wasn't great, throwing short of the sticks too much. Should have been a first down. It's really just poor execution from the quarterback. All right, this is the deep pass that Nabers had an opportunity on. Jones underthrows it. It's not necessarily open anyway, but what the Giants are running here is a concept called a Yankee. And what Yankee is when you have two receivers, and this is a route concept designed to attack single high safety. So once again, middle field is closed, and what Daniel Jones needs to do is read this safety because he has to make a choice. Is he going to bail and take the deep over, or is he going to take the dig? Slayton is running the dig, and then you have Nabers running the deep over. And again, with that route combo, you have so much pressure placed on the safety to go here or to go here. He has to make a decision. Daniel Jones needs to read the safety. Whichever way he does go, you go the other way. Whichever way he doesn't go, you go. Okay, so that's the idea. Now, what coverage is this from Dallas? Once again, it's just cover one man. You know it's man coverage because you got this linebacker chasing Wan'Dale Robinson in motion. So that tells Jones, okay, man coverage. Let's take this opportunity and manipulate the safety and get an open shot. So let's roll it through. Little play action. Jones rolls out. Where did the safety go? The safety is very clearly going this way to take away Malik Nabers because that's their threat. Darius Slayton, unfortunately, is not their threat. So he's going to go and take Nabers. Now, he is out of position. He's going this way, and Nabers is going that way. So it's not a bad decision necessarily to throw this one to Nabers. But, you know, with the safety running completely out of the play, you got to know that you have one-on-one coverage here, and there's a pretty decent amount of separation here for Slayton. Slayton doesn't turn this thing into a dig. He kind of turns it off for one reason or another. I think that he just recognized that he had all the space. But, I mean, Darius Slayton's wide open. And I know people are saying you might be like, this is a deep shot dialed up to Malik Nabers. This is an option for Daniel Jones. This sure is a deep shot. They're trying to take a shot here, but they also have two routes here that he's actually reading. The ball is never going to Wan'Dale. Wan'Dale is there just to give the Giants offense, okay, this is man coverage. And now we know that because we put him in motion. He's in the flat. If I got to check it down, sure, go ahead. This ball is going deep no matter what. It's just, is it going deep to Darius Slayton or is it going deep to Malik Nabers? And that is completely reliant on whether or not this safety is running this way or that way. Daniel Jones misreads this. The safety is going that way. Again, Nabers is going to break open here, but it's just a tough throw to make. This ball needs to go to Slayton. That's where it's supposed to go. There's so much space and separation here. Look at that. You've got almost 5 yards. When you're running that Yankee concept, you got to read that middle high safety. Which way does he go? I'm going the other way. Jones picks the wrong one. And then here's the other problem. Because, you guys are right. Nabers is breaking free. He is open. If Daniel Jones had a really strong arm and he had a cannon and he could throw this thing to the other side of the field, this is a friggin' touchdown. Josh Allen throwing the ball, Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball, Justin Herbert throwing the ball. It's a friggin' touchdown. We don't have that quarterback. This is the quarterback that we have. Let's break down what went wrong once again here for Daniel Jones. see him wind up the throw, and I want to highlight something in his fundamentals. Let's take a look at the way that he is lined up here as he goes to throw. First of all, his back leg is really far out wide. He is very unstable with his feet well separated from where his shoulders are. Your feet, when you're throwing the ball, are supposed to be about shoulder width apart, even when you're throwing deep. Another thing, the arm is spraying out. Your arm is always supposed to be, when you're throwing the football, tight up against your chest. Okay? Last thing, your hips need to be aligned with your target. I don't think Daniel Jones is necessarily aligned with his target. If he was aligned with his target, I think he'd be turned more this way because he's not throwing to Nabers here. His hips need to be aligned to go here. And I don't feel like this is the right alignment. He should be turned more so he can get that ball out there. But this is the real problem. This back leg and this shoulder dip where he's leaning back while he's making this throw. He's throwing basically off of his back foot. He slips a little bit here. You can see a little bit of rubber pellets flying up. Back foot slips. But this is more than just slipping on this play, because we saw this in Cleveland on grass. We saw this in Washington on grass. What we're actually seeing here is a really concerning trend for Daniel Jones. We're seeing a severe lack of comfort pushing off of his right knee, which is the knee that he tore last year. That's what this is stemming from. These deep passes that he keeps underthrowing, they're underthrown because he is not comfortable on that right knee. Now, I don't know if that's discomfort in the knee or if that's mental, or maybe this is just lack of fundamentals, and it's a bad case of fundamentals that he's had for years that I haven't noticed until now. But now it's really noticeable because he's 2 for 14 passing on deep throws this season. Okay, and it's a glaring, obvious weakness in his game, and it's holding the Giants back. But when you look at a throw like this, and you look at the way that his knee is pushed so far back, how do you expect to gain power and transfer your weight from here to here? How are you going to turn your hips and fire this football when your feet are that spread apart, when your legs are that wide? You're not. And again, this has been a trend where this knee is left behind, and he's not having a stable base to throw from because of that right knee this season. This has happened several times. Take the spraying out arm out of the equation. That's also bad. The shoulder dip back is related to that knee and the fact that it's out of position. There's something wrong here. And it's not just one play. Find other plays, find other examples where Daniel Jones is underthrowing these passes. It's a lack of weight transfer and power transfer from his right leg to his left leg. And it has me very concerned that it is related to his torn ACL from last season. I'll pull up other examples if I need to. I think there's another deep pass later on in this game. This is a play where, this ball should have been completed. Whether it's completed to, here, look at how he's leaned so far backwards when he's throwing the ball. He's not stepping into it. I understand there's a pass rusher coming, but he's doing a limbo. Pull up other examples if I have to. I think there's another deep shot on here. This play should have been completed, whether it was thrown to Nabers or Slayton. It should have gone to Slayton, though. It was a misread by Daniel Jones. Now, here's another play. It's a good completion to Malik Nabers. Once again, he gets another target. He's lined up at the top of your screen. Forgot to circle it this time. Circle it here. And this is a timing route. He's just going to run up and stop. Just going to be one of those deep curls that they love to run in this Giants offense. What do we have in the coverage? Well, we actually do have single high safety. It was disguised as too high. Safety creeped down, so we're actually only getting one in the middle of the field. But it looks like it's some sort of disguised coverage here. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's one-on-one on the outside because of that. And you know that you have Nabers on this little curl route. This is when the ball should have been thrown. Ball should be out right now. The ball is not out right now. Daniel Jones is still hitching, and he's still gathering himself, and now he's throwing it. Okay? But this ball should be now. Now the ball should already be released. Now it's released. It's just late, and it's a completion, and it's a good and it's an accurate throw, and it's a great route by Nabers. But it's late. This is turning into very much a Daniel Jones breakdown rather than a Nabers breakdown. I'm sorry about that, guys. But let's break down what Nabers does here to get himself so open. So look at when he releases off the line of scrimmage. He's got his head down. He's in his athletic stance like he's about to run this go route. What that's going to do is force this defensive back to backpedal, which you're going to see him do. He's going to backpedal, and then as soon as Nabers recognizes that he's now backpedaled and turned his hips and he's facing the sideline, playing the go ball, that's when you turn it around. Nabers' stop-start ability and ability to go from 100 to 0 and 0 to 100 makes him a really explosive route runner and allows him to create tons of separation on plays just like this one. So really great route there from Nabers. All right, here's another just easy reception. Again, not a ton to break down here. They're very clearly double teaming Malik Nabers. They've got man, and they have a safety who is just completely disregarding this go route and just manning up on Nabers, basically. He was bracketed in this one a lot, and he still ended up with 12 receptions. So just incredible. But I also think this ball is late. I hate to keep pointing this out, but let's go right here. 1, 2. Okay, he's already turned. The ball is still in Daniel Jones's hands. This ball needs to be out while he's breaking. You know he's open, so throw it. Whatever. Easy completions. We like those for fantasy. Again, another one where I just feel like Nabers is waiting on the ball. It's finally delivered. It's a decent throw. This is what the Giants were doing a lot in this game. They were getting creative with their alignment of Nabers. You know, we obviously see him oftentimes outside like Tyrone Tracy is here. It's usually where he lines up. But they put him in the slot a lot because they knew that they could kind of put a go ball or some sort of dig route and create a little bit of a cushion where it's kind of tough for the defender to get down on him because he's got to run into somebody. Just let him kind of sit down in these flats and have all the space and just throw out these quick catches. And I think the idea and design here was to get these balls to him as fast as the play started, let him catch it, let him make a move, turn up the sideline, and hopefully break a tackle and maybe score a touchdown. It just didn't work out. The tackling was really good by the Cowboys. They crashed down on these, and they're making great tackles. And obviously, the passes have been a little late, but I think Dallas was just kind of sitting on those. I think they were just kind of like, let's give those to the Giants. You know, they're going to throw these things into the flat to Nabers, and then we'll just crash on them. So just kind of tough, but it's a good way to get Nabers involved. I like the play calls. This is one that I really like. This is very creative and clever. You've got Nabers now in the backfield, kind of playing fullback here. You're going to have the running back go in motion. So let's see what happens when he goes in motion. Nobody's really following him, so it's not man coverage, so you know that it's zone. So what's the idea for Nabers when you know it's zone? Let's sit down in a pocket. What does he do? Well, he leaks out of the backfield and really clever to get behind this linebacker. When he gets to this linebacker, he could cut this thing here. The linebacker is then going to chase him. But going behind the linebacker means that the linebacker is going to pass him off to this defensive back. Nabers recognizes that, so he's going to run this out route, and he's going to slow it down. Watch Nabers here. Watch him slow it down. Take your foot off the gas. Make sure you don't run into trouble. Don't run into somebody. You know it's zone coverage. You've got really great feel. Look at his feel for it. Look at the way when he gets past this linebacker, the way that he feels, okay, I'm open in zone. Let me sit down. And he does. It's a great tight window throw from Daniel Jones here, and it's a great catch from Nabers. A really good throw from Jones because not only does he have to worry about this linebacker crashing down, so he's got to try and lead it over a little bit. He also has to worry about this zone defender getting here, and he has to make sure that it gets over this defender. So it's a really good throw from Jones right into the window. But again, a really good job by Nabers to sit down in that zone and just find that little pocket of open space. And then really clever from Brian Dable to have Nabers come out of the backfield like this, just because it makes it so tough for the defense to recognize who's who and where's everyone going. And it allows him to just kind of sneak by the defense and sit down in an open zone. So I really like that play. Really like that. All right, next play to Nabers. Once again, all right, so the Giants are getting a single eye safety look. They're running Nabers out into the flat. Again, he's open. Again, he's getting the ball when he's on the sideline rather than when he's breaking. Jones's head is turned around. He can see how much space there is for Nabers here. This ball should be being thrown right now. Okay, now it's thrown. Okay, now it's kind of tough for Nabers to work his way upfield. I think, honestly, what we're seeing here, because Nabers definitely could have worked more here, and this is something I'm going to criticize for him. There was a couple times on his film where he had some extra yardage to gain, and he chose not to. He got a little lazy. Two things. I think one, I think he was getting frustrated with how late these balls were getting to him because it was happening consistently throughout the game. Number two, I think he was gassed. They had this kid doing a lot. he was in pre-snap motion almost every play. So even the plays where he wasn't getting the ball, he was running across the line of scrimmage. He was running all over the place. Kid was gassed for that reason. Also for the fact that he had so many targets. I mean, by this point, what have we gone through? 10 targets almost? 10 touches at least? The guy was getting the ball a ton. He was tired. I think he was gassed. The Giants just kept dialing up his plays for him, so you had to keep running them. I don't care, though. I think this is poor effort. Turn up field. I mean, there's nothing stopping him from gaining 1, 2, 3 yards here. And he chooses not to. He walks right out of bounds. I don't like that from Malik. I love Malik Nabers. I barely ever have anything to criticize him for. This play, I criticize him. But at the same time, this ball just takes forever to get there. I mean, if he gets this ball here, let's say the ball was thrown on time. The ball is in his hands right now. Well, now we're talking about this guy not even being a part of the play. And we're talking about one-on-one with this guy who's out of position. So we're talking about maybe making a guy miss up the sideline. So, again, late throws kills an offense. It's good completion, and it's going to boost Daniel Jones' PFF grade and his completion percentage. But there's meat left on the bone once again. This one's better timing, and look, Nabers makes a play. This one is well-timed. Because look, he's breaking, and while he's breaking, this ball is coming out. And it's there, and it's for him. And he's able to make a good run after the catch. Again, what we were seeing here was a lot of single high safeties from Dallas, taking away the middle of the field. A lot of just cover one man in this game is what they were really playing. And you know that you've got some pockets of space here because of that. And, yeah, I mean, quick and easy throw. That one's on time, and Nabers made a missed tackle because of it. All right, now this play I love, and I wish that I had the full film here because you're going to see Nabers is lined up right here, but that's not where he started. He was either somewhere over here or maybe he was in the, kind of closer to the line of scrimmage. They sent him in motion, and that was really crucial when the Giants did that. So imagine he's coming in motion across the line of scrimmage, and this guy is following him. What does that tell Daniel Jones with the single high safety? Once again, it's cover one. It's just press man. But that means that it's one-on-one man coverage between Nabers and whoever is guarding him, and you're going to take that matchup every time, and you're going to throw it to Malik Nabers every single time. And Nabers is just running an easy, quick slant route. And nobody's guarding this kid one-on-one coverage on a quick slant. And man, really love the play design here from the Giants. It's just ISO leak, let him get open, throw it, make the catch, first down. Keep in mind, guys, this is short yardage, it's fourth down. Got to have it, got to make a play, so you got to go to your best playmaker, which is Malik Nabers. Very clever design by Brian Dable to isolate him one-on-one. Tip to Daniel Jones, this is man coverage. You've got an easy completion to Nabers. All he has to do is break open, and he will. Boom. Little move there. A little hesitation up at the top. Let's watch the release. It's a 3-step release, and then he's going to chop his feet, break down the cornerback. Cornerback is guessing, is he going to go this way? Is he going to break it this way? Who knows? Now the cornerback is out of position. Nabers is reading his feet, kind of his hips. Is he turned this way or is he turned this way? He's turned that way. So you're going to cross over his face and you're going to go right into the middle of the field where you know there is no safety because the safety is helping over top to try and stop you from making a deep catch. You know that it's all wide open real estate here. Nabers does a good job reading that. Jones is just locked in on it as he should be, and he's going to hit him. Easy completion, first down, move the sticks on fourth down. Really great play. Another target for Nabers. I believe this was the exact next play, and this was another really clever play design and also a really good throw from Daniel Jones. Nabers was lined up here. He's coming across the formation, and he's just running an end route. It's just really nice, though, the way that the Giants move him around. Because what this does here, he's already moving, so he's got a head start. As soon as that ball is snapped, he's already jogging. He can just turn into full gear, just move. And it's zone coverage this time. Seemed what the Cowboys were doing was when they had single high, it was man, and when they had two high, it was zone. So it looks like it's probably some sort of a cover two here with everybody sitting on these flats and everything. What do you like to attack against cover two? There's a few open pockets. Primarily, you like to attack in between these two safeties. You like to get somebody running up in here, and you like to fire it in there. So that's the play design. And it's just going to go right there to Nabers. And what we see here from Slayton, who does a really good job of clearing out to this linebacker and opening up that pocket. He just runs kind of up and in, takes this away, and opens up this lane for Nabers to run into. So that's kind of the play design from the offensive side of the ball for the Giants. Just kind of clear out route from Slayton. He does a really good job being a decoy here. And Jones does a really good job of reading it. Very clean pocket. This Giants offensive line has been damn good this season in pass pro. He's got an absolute convoy in front of him. He's got all day in the pocket. And all he has to do is just recognize this guy is going this way, this guy is going this way. So let's throw it right in there. It's a perfect throw. Easy reception. Nabers even picks up a few extra yards after the catch. Next play, and I'll say this was the scariest play of all time. I paused it at the perfect time because, oh my God, look at Malik Nabers' knee. Fun fact, guys, I'm nursing an ACL sprain from 8 weeks ago because exactly that happened to me in my flag football league. My knee was jolted backward because I planted and somebody banged into it and bent it backwards, and I've been going to physical therapy. It hasn't been fun. And that's what I was afraid of for Nabers here, because when you're doing that at full speed in tackle football, you have a really good chance of blowing out your knee in a much more significant fashion than I did in freaking flag football. This was an opportunity for a torn ACL. This was really scary. And I'm very happy that Nabers is okay, because this was a really scary hit. Cornerback went very low, and could have been bad the way that his knee just kind of turned. And you'll see when he's on the ground, he just kind of looked like it hurt. Looked scary, but I think even the tight end was running in to check on him. But he's okay. He's all right. Knee's not hurt. Head is hurt. Did have a concussion later in this game. But so this play design is nice, though. Let's get back to the play. Just having war flashbacks. 2 deep safeties. Middle field open. But what do we know about this Cowboys team? What the tendency has been all game. Whenever they're too deep, they're also playing zone. So we know we've got these flat defenders. And then we've got this right here. We've got 5 down linemen, so they're all right, this guy's kind of playing coverage on one of these tight ends probably, but I do like this design, though, from the Giants. You're going to get Nabers rolling. He's running a naked right across the line of scrimmage. Nobody follows him, so you do know that it's zone coverage, right? All right, it's zone. So that means he's running right into his zone. So Daniel Jones probably, I know he really wants to get this ball to Nabers, see if he can make a man miss, make a play. I think this is kind of a low-high read. You've got Nabers running into this flat, and you kind of need to see if this defender is going to take that. And if he is, you probably want to throw this thing over him and try and hit this route. It doesn't happen. It's no big deal. It's fine. You're getting the ball to Nabers in space. And also, I don't think Bellinger was going to get open. He's slow, and the safety was clearly waiting on him. But I think the Giants were hoping on this play with Nabers coming across the line of scrimmage for man coverage. And then he would have been wide open here and had a bunch of space to run. He just didn't. Cowboys had the right play dialed up and coverage-wise and cover 2 and made a good tackle. So once again, Giants were really trying to get him open in those flats, make him miss. Cowboys were just sitting on it, beating him down in the flats. All right, here's another really crafty route from Malik Nabers. Once again, in that slot, Giants trying to work him into the flat from the slot. This time, though, he's going to run another whip route, which is a slant return. He's going to fake in, and then he's going to bang it out. And again, single high. So what's it look like? Looks like it's, again, going to be some cover 1 man. At the worst, you're getting cover 3 in some way. It looks like man. Let's roll it through. And it is man. And Nabers is just so great with his stop-start ability. And this ball is on time. This ball comes out right as Nabers is breaking. Look, Daniel Jones is starting to throw when Nabers is turned away from the direction he's going. Nabers is going this way. Nabers is looking this way. And the ball is starting to come out. That's good timing. So when you refer back to those other plays where the timing was off, refer to this one then and see what it's supposed to look like. Because this created yards after the catch opportunity. Ball on time. And look, Nabers had an opportunity to run up and create some more yardage. He didn't. It's good tackling, but he's open. The ball is on time. I really love watching Nabers run routes, though. Because, again, this time he does the walkout release. A lot of times, if you guys saw the viral clip of Amari Cooper last week versus Deontay Banks, he did the walkout release on the goal line, walks up like he's going to block, and then just fakes inside on the slant. Nabers does the same thing, Let's walk it out. Now the cornerback has to watch me. Boom. Let's fake like we're going inside. Psych. It's a really sick route. Really, really nice route from Malik Nabers. Just to kind of walk it out, fake in, boom. That's actually was one of OBJ's favorite routes when he was on the New York Giants. Really great route there from Nabers. Now, final play of the game for Nabers. Unfortunately, the play where he suffered a concussion. First and foremost, prayers to you, Malik. Praying for you, hoping that you're all right. Hoping that you make a quick and thorough recovery. What do the Giants have dialed up here? Let's take a look at the film. Actually, let's roll it back and look at what the Dallas Cowboys have dialed up here. What's their tendency been whenever they have these two deep safeties? It's been to play zone coverage, as we've noticed throughout this game. So again, I hope you guys are recognizing when we're doing these film breakdowns, we're also doing breakdowns not only on the individual player performances, but obviously the scheme on the offensive side and defensive side of the ball. And we're looking at tendencies too, because now we're in the fourth quarter. All throughout this film, we've been seeing single high man and we've been seeing two high zone. So now we're here, 4th and 8, gotta have it. You see these two deep safeties. What do you know that it is? Zone. So that's why we do these things, because you get to see kind of the idea of what's going through Daniel Jones's mind, what's going through Dable's mind, Nabers, what's going through their mind as these games wear on. And now we're in the fourth quarter, final play, zone coverage look. Jones knows at the line of scrimmage here, he's got good pass protection. He's got 6 men blocking, he's got 6 men right here against a 4-man rush right here. He knows that they're dropping back 7 players in coverage in cover 2 zone. So where are you going to attack? Well, you're going to attack this because it's in between these two safeties. You also have an opportunity to attack these sidelines where the safety isn't going to be and the flat defender isn't going to be, right? You know that. And then you have little sit-down routes in the middle of these linebackers potentially that could break open. Those are the holes against cover 2 zone. Let's see what routes we get from the Giants. This time we're going to get a little bit of a seam route from Theo Johnson that breaks open. Again, with this too high safety look, you've got Johnson wide open in the middle of the field to potentially win the football game. What happened here? Why did Daniel Jones miss that? What's his first read? Nabers is his first read. Okay, so he's looking at Nabers, who's running to the sticks and sitting down. And then Nabers is going to run the scramble drill and get open eventually. But what do we have here? We've got Nabers trying to get open, and it's really good press coverage from Trayvon Diggs. He's blanketed. What's read 2? I think that it's Wandale. Let's see where Jones goes. Yep, it's Wandale. It's not open. And then I guess read 3 would then be the backside dig, which isn't open. But I think this is something where the progressions are as such. 1, 2, 3, 4. However, I think as a QB, you can kind of recognize pre-snap what's going on, and you can kind of change this. And I think that you can read this differently if you're Daniel Jones, and you can know, hey, Johnson's running a seam route right into the heart of this defense, right where they're going to be vulnerable. Maybe I give it to him. Maybe I check to see if that's open, and I change my reads. Doesn't do that. 1 read, it's not there. Okay, let's go to 2. It's not there. 3. Now we're scrambling. Now we're trying to make something happen. Johnson had a first down here. That's really unfortunate. What happens in the pass protection here? Giants did a pretty good job because what we're getting is some stunts once again from the Cowboys pass rush, which, they love to do. Boom, they stunt it. Actually, Devin Singletary does a really good job chipping and helping pick this up, and Jones is in a clean pocket. Here's the thing, though, and I'm not going to blame Jones for scrambling. When you go through all 3 of your reads and nobody's open, now you got to scramble, and you know that it's zone coverage, so you just got to wait for somebody to sit in the zone. So I actually don't mind what Jones does here, scrambling around and waiting for play. The only knock that I have on him on this play is you knew Johnson was running into the middle of that cover 2. You should have changed your progressions. But I don't know how much autonomy he has from Brian Dable to do that. But he scrambles, he makes the play. Nabers open, throws it. It's a really tight window. It's a really great throw. It's a really great catch. And guys, here's the last point that I'm going to make. This is not a drop by Malik Nabers. I'm going to repeat that. I know it hit his hands and he didn't catch it. This is not a drop. This ball hits Nabers' hands and he has it caught. And then the defensive back shoves him to the ground. The defensive back lodged the ball loose. The defensive back broke up this pass. You don't always have to get your hands on the football to break up a pass. Sometimes you get your hands on the body of the receiver to break up a pass. The cornerback broke up this pass by shoving him to the ground. What he also did was shove him to the ground so hard that Nabers plopped it down, hit his head, and what happened? He went unconscious. This is not a drop by Malik Nabers. He's not even awake when the ball leaves his hands. I don't want to get too angry. If you guys saw my reaction video to the game, you know how pissed off I was about this. I refuse to call this a drop. You guys might disagree with me. I know it hit him in the hands. He didn't secure it through the catch. All those things happen. He hits the ground. It gets lodged. When he hits the ground, he literally gets concussed and goes what seems to be unconscious. He hits his ground, and he doesn't move for like 20 seconds. He was laying there. So it was a scary injury. Definitely got concussed. I'm praying for you, Leak. I'm hoping that you're all right and you can play as soon as possible. But, guys, I'm not blaming Leak for dropping that ball. You're just not going to convince me of it. Sorry, but not going to do it. Not for me. Anyway, that about wraps this one up. Once again, large film breakdown. There was 15 targets to go through, so that's always going to take a while. The Giants force-feeding Nabers the rock. Some really good throws here from Daniel Jones. Some really good plays here from Malik Nabers. Some really bad throws here from Daniel Jones. Some not-so-great plays from Malik Nabers. It was a little bit of a mixed bag on Thursday night. Thursday night games are always sloppy. They're kind of tough to get clean all throughout, but the Giants did do a good job scheming Nabers open on several occasions. They just need to execute better and capitalize on some of these opportunities. Got to read the field better. Got to make the right throws. Got to make the right catches. And hopefully start scoring some touchdowns, because you cannot beat an NFL team if you're only kicking field goals to Greg Joseph. Sorry, it's not going to happen. Giants lost this game ultimately because they didn't make those few plays to win the game, unfortunately enough. But hey, Nabers was a superstar again. I think he's going to continue to be a superstar. And I'm really excited to see what he does throughout the rest of the season once he gets healthy and gets back on the football field. Let me know your thoughts down below. How are you feeling about Malik Nabers in this one? Let me know. I'm curious to hear. And how are you feeling about Daniel Jones as well? Let me know. And tell me who you want me to film break down next. Always listen to you guys in the comment section. Happy to go ahead and break down whoever you want. So let me know. I'll catch you on the next one. Have a good one. And let's go Giants.
Perfect.